So we have to move towards where we are supposed to pay the price of carbon. I call it sustainable market. It's not my own idea. Many people are talking about it. But it is very difficult to transform our market system, right? So after a long time of my involvement in the climate change issues, my conclusion is we cannot just transform free market to sustainable market overnight. This is very difficult. Then what can we do? The only thing we can do is by depending on voluntary participation of the consumers. I call it voluntary market. So voluntary market is a stepping stone for transformation from free market to sustainable. Enough to pay a higher price for same energy? Yes, there are increasing number of people, especially young generation, are eager to share the responsibility of climate change. And for example, there are some good examples in some countries, like in Germany, they are selling the train ticket with two kinds of ticket. One is a green ticket, the other is a regular ticket. Green ticket is 5-10 euro more expensive. There are some people who are paying extra price because they want to travel without carbon emission. Then this extra payment is used to buy renewable green energy by the train company. This is one example of voluntary market. There's another example of this kind of example is Patagonia is a fashion brand. The Patagonia is making their fashion product out of recycled plastic. Maybe you might think that the price might be cheaper because it is from recycled plastic. But on the other hand, contrary to the expectation, the price of the Patagonia product is more expensive. And you might wonder, who will pay more expensive price for a recycled plastic product? But there are consumers who are willing to pay higher price for Patagonia product. And Patagonia is making money. This is an example of the success story of a voluntary market. So we have to rely on those green consumers who are willing to pay the price of carbon on a voluntary basis. So in order to realize, operationalize this kind of a voluntary market, one important idea from me is that we have to differentiate the price of carbon-free energy and carbon energy. At the moment, in many countries, in most of the countries, except some regions in the United States or in Europe, the electricity has only one fixed price. Even in Kazakhstan, we have only one fixed price. Whether the electricity came from solar panel or it came from coal, the price of electricity is the same. This is the main source of the problem. So we have to differentiate. How? Green energy has to have a higher price because it requires a lot more cost. So there's to be a true price for electricity. And we have to offer the opportunity for the people to make a choice. Some people, maybe you might wonder, who will pay higher price for the same electricity? Yes, there wouldn't be many people from the beginning. There could be only maybe 1% or 2%. But in the case of Korea, when we had the public opinion survey, we had about 48% of the Korean people saying that they are going to pay a higher price of electricity because of the climate change issue. While 45% they will not pay higher price for electricity. So my suggestion, why don't we start with 48%? There is no reason we have to wait 45% to agree. So we have to start with the 48%. This is what I call voluntary market, and we have to differentiate the prices. This is what I mean by the voluntary market. And in order to promote this kind of a voluntary market, we have to initiate social campaign, social education. I call it that we have to promote the concept of me first campaign. We should offer price differentiation, but price differentiation alone cannot solve the problem. We have to also at the same time promote social education and through me first campaign. Me first campaign means I should be the first to share the responsibility. I cannot just leave it to the government or to the business. Environmental campaign is about blaming, accusing government and the businesses. Blaming government and businesses is environmental campaign. But blaming government and the business will not solve the problem. We can solve the problem only when we say that I will be the first to share the responsibility by paying the extra cost. Then we can solve the problem. This is what I call me first campaign. And we need to initiate me first campaign on a society basis. And in order to do that, the basic concept is personally determining the contribution. This is what I call new concept, new bottom-up approach, because we cannot just rely on top-down, but we have to bring up bottom-up approach. Even though it may not be easy in the beginning, but we have to start it, otherwise there is no way we can succeed this transformation. Lastly, this is a level of just bottom-up and me first campaign is a kind of a macro approach. But we need another very important frame change. Frame change means that we have to also, as I told you earlier, we have to transform free market to sustainable market, right? But this kind of transformation of the free market cannot happen if we don't change the current free market economics. Free market economics has to be changed to new climate economics. We need a different kind of economics textbook, economics idea. We have to redesign our economics knowledge. And this is something that I have been promoting. And last year, I wrote an article in this New Kazakhstan. New Kazakhstan is a book published last year. And I wrote there an article turning net zero into low carbon green growth opportunities for job creation opportunities for Kazakhstan. That was an article I wrote in that book. And I also present my ideas for new climate economics in the Eurasian Geo-Awakening. Is a book published by Central Bank of Hungary. And there I wrote an article about new climate economics. And also in a new report published by Leadership for Net Zero, which is published in April this year, which is presented in Baku, this report. And there in this report, I presented my idea of transformation of sustainable market, voluntary market, need first, personal determined contribution. All these ideas, new economics ideas are contained in this Leadership for Net Zero report. So these ideas are contained in this report already. But now I don't have time to go over all these ideas, detailed ideas, but without transforming our knowledge, our thinking, or mindset, as Gary Borsch has mentioned, our mindset or thinking about economics towards new climate economy, emphasizing not only short-term balance, equilibrium, but long-term equilibrium. We cannot promote green growth, green economy, or we cannot solve the problem of climate change issues. So thank you very much. I'll stop here, and I will invite the moderator.
Okay.